You ever see those videos of like people pranking other guys when they sit on a couch or like a tire or something? They just get
Onto the
launched in the air.
airbag.
Yeah, they do the
That's
airbag.
kind of
yeah.
what I want to happen every time, like an explosion. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah, that'd be
launch my
cool.
head
It just
through the
completely
ceiling.
like collapses your spine every time.
Like
Launch me right through the ceiling or the roof, whatever.
when you're watching a good action movie, you, like times it just right. So when your friend's launching up in the air and you're just
But then if it's like more than one explosion, when you come back down, it just keeps launching you right up again. So you have like 7 holes in your roof.
That would be,
You'd probably be dead.
Welcome back to another episode of Bored with the Boys. We're back here again. More topics. Let's get right into it. No delay. Christian,
No
you
delay
wanted
whatsoever.
to discuss something. Let's hear it.
all right. So you know how back in the days how everyone used to have all these old TVs and like they weren't the best quality TVs and then the surround sounds or whatnot, but like how everything went from that all the way up to like how it is now where people have speak 5 speakers just to get that fine tune of home entertainment quality. So now
So are you talking about like
I'm talking about like the evolution of things, like how
of
entertainment
sound
grew.
and entertainment systems?
Yeah, sounds, yeah.
I mean, there's like a technology component to that where like, you know, from if you're talking TVs, you know, back in the day we had like crap TVs, big block TVs, you know, the bigger the TV you got, the larger the space you had to get because it was just like a big giant cube. So, I mean,
They weighed 1,000,000 pounds.
yeah, like the first like rear projection TVs that were like finally able to get to like, you know, 50 inches were just like a big sheet of like glass or plastic with like a projection behind it in this big giant box, and it looked like complete garbage. It looked like the same quality of like a tiny TV, just like scaled up with no extra resolution on it. It was just really bad quality. But I mean, yeah, as they eventually figured out better technology and they get flatter and stuff, it's just way easier. But I mean, from like overall entertainment centers, I mean, I feel like if we're talking just like the whole, you know, package of it with the TV, the sound system and stuff like that, like from what you have in your home, I think it's kind of the same thing as it's always been. Like, you know, now you have speakers that are like wireless and you can have, you know, stronger subwoofers and this and that. And back in the day, if you wanted like all this stuff, you had to get like, you know, wires and all these big giant speakers. But I feel like people have always gone after the same thing. So I feel like the want isn't different nowadays. I feel like it's just easier to attain with different technology. Like if you're talking about like what's in people's homes.
Yeah, because mostly we had TVs that the sound would just come forward from you, and like that's pretty much like realistic in the sense of back in the days.
Yeah.
But now you can actually set certain parameters of your room with like different speakers
Surround
and
sound and
yeah, the sounds coming
mean-
like you're actually there.
I mean, honestly, I feel like some TVs back in the day probably sounded better than some like flat screen TVs. Like if you just have a regular TV with no like sound system on it,
yeah.
They don't even sound that good because of the way they're set up. They project the sound out of the back of the TV because it's all flat. So it's like you don't get sound directed at you. You get this weird like muffled like backwards reflected sound. It's like I've had TVs in the past that just have sounded like garbage unless you have like a sound bar or a sound system. And they're like new, way better TVs versus TV back in the day that just had a speaker built into the front that would just you know project at you. So it's like technology is improving certain aspects of it, but it almost like new TVs almost force you into getting like some sort of sound system if you want decent sound out of it, because the TVs they're built for the good picture quality, but just not for like good sound. That's just not
trying to make them so slim and so unnoticeable. They can't really put a good system.
It could be like one little thing and it just sounds like it's everywhere. Like it's echoing around you. Like just one little small device can do anything.
I've always wanted to get a subwoofer and put it right under my couch.
Remember that? Like getting those big
vaccine comes on, it just blows my butt away.
But like
it's just like a piston that comes and just punches like like through the bottom of your couch and just beats the shit out of you like you're watching a movie.
It's just like a couch system that's literally designed for that.
Yeah, like I remember actually having subwoofers inside like my cousin's living room. Like he would have them there, and those things would start like rumbling, like boom, 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 and like you could feel like the vibrations of the bass going through the couch.
Yeah,
It's
I feel like
literally, like,
you
moving
need
all the-
less now to have, like back in the day, like you said, in your cousin's like thing, he probably just had like these big massive speakers trying to like make it sound good, but they probably weren't like good. It probably wasn't a good sound. Like it was probably loud and intense and whatever, but it wasn't like good quality sound.
Wasn't
Whereas,
crisp, probably.
yeah, like nowadays you can
Yeah.
get like a different set of speakers that probably sound just way clearer, and maybe they aren't like shaking the entire house, but it just is like a much better sound than you would have had like back
More
in the
crispy.
day.
I think like before it was like you needed to have like super loud, crazy systems. Like you said, it's just like now it's like cleaner and it's like
Yeah.
more subtle, but it's like
Yeah.
better. Like before, people would just have these crazy giant like
Yeah, that's what
same big
Speakers.
speakers. Yeah,
like you like
for
get
like
them out
no
of a car.
reason. Yeah, like those huge stacks. Like it's just like
Yeah.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
but it's all like the
Yeah,
same
those.
speaker in them. It's just making it louder. Where now you have like the different size speakers. You have the tweeters and the subwoofers, and it just works
Yeah,
better
yeah.
to create like what they call 3D sound, and it just sounds like better because like I said, nowadays with movies and stuff, you want like the clarity of all the things, not just like the whole time your house is like shaking. It's just that's like unnecessary and like a good
Yeah.
like for a good experience. But I feel like I said, from a home perspective, it's the same. We've always chased the same thing. We're just doing it with like updated technology. Because I have like a big sound system and stuff in my house, but like when growing up, my parents had like some version of a sound system that didn't sound nearly as good as the one I have. But that was just like it was chasing the same like sound back then, just of the quality available at the time.
Going back to that subwoofer under the butt, you ever see those videos of like people pranking other guys when they sit on like couch or like a tire or something? They just get
Onto an
launched in the air.
airbag.
Yeah, they do the
That's
airbag.
kind
yeah.
of what I want to
Yeah.
happen every time, like an explosion. You know what I mean? Just
Is that
launch my
recording?
head
It just
through the
completely
ceiling.
like collapses your spine every time.
Like
Launch me right through the ceiling or the roof, whatever.
Like you're watching a good action movie, you, like times it just right. So when your friend's launching up in the air and you're just
But then if it's like more than one explosion, when you come back down, it just keeps launching you right up again. So you have like 7 holes in your roof.
That would be,
You'd probably be dead.
I feel like that would work, but that wouldn't really. Like,
I mean, how much more real can you get? You get thrown from an explosion, you know?
I
You
guess.
just like
You gotta
die
feel the
in
effects,
real
you
life
know?
from the explosion in the movie.
like gunshots. You gotta feel them too. Pow, 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 pow.
There's just someone standing behind your TV and like they just as someone
They
gets
make
shot,
you,
they
they
just
make you
shoot you.
wear some sort of vest or something. But when somebody gets shot, it like bumps your
Well,
chest.
yeah,
or
now
like-
we're talking like VR TV. Like we're talking about VR gaming and like
Yeah.
Ready Player One, how they have that suit. Like, but you have like VR
But even like
TV
they have, you can
movies.
buy like sound subwoofer vests to wear.
Yeah,
Like
I've
for,
seen
for
that.
music,
Yeah.
you can wear it like
Yeah.
walking around. You can wear it at your house. It's literally like a vest that like has
Oh, really?
the 3D sound in
Yeah.
it, so you feel the vibrations based on the sound. And it's like you
that on
feel
my-
the music, and it's like
It's
oh, it's cool.
weird.
But I was like, I don't
I
want
wanna
to
try
freaking
it.
like jacket speaker. It's like
Yeah, and then like it rains or something. Like I don't know how waterproof it is.
You just
Yeah.
get electrocuted.
I mean, like
fucking
walking
die.
down the street seems kind of like. Do you really need like intense body vibrating sound out of your
Yeah.
freaking phone?
It-
Like
Probably.
It's like it's like a vibrator.
like a torso vibrator.
Like you never see those
I
videos
just
of like
go ahead.
what?
Oh god.
No,
we
you've
know
seen those
this.
videos like is this guy and his girlfriend like
Whoa. Careful where you're going.
no,
with
it was a
this.
device. It was a device that they put in his pants or
And he
something
puts
like
it on
that.
his
And they
dick?
go, "Ooh." It's crazy.
Oh my
But
God.
back to like this like the
Christian.
vest subwoofer thing. Like when you think about it, it's kind of cool, but I don't see like the use of it because obviously if you're out in public, you just have like your headphones in, you just listen to music. Most people aren't walking around with like big headphones. Some people are, but like
Yeah,
most of
some
the time you just want like just music to like kind of kill time or like, you know, if you're like on the subway or whatever, but like you're not gonna wear the big giant vest. Like I want to be on the subway experiencing 100% amazing music.
Oh, that would be kind of cool though.
It's like
You just
cool,
feel
but it's like, it
I-
feels like impractical because like, oh, I gotta go to work. Let me pack my freaking vest. Let me pack my thing. Like,
If I'm traveling on a subway though, I'm not gonna. I want to be able to like hear around me though. I'm not trying to like completely shut out everything around.
that's what I
me.
mean. So it's like it's cool
I
to
just
be
want
like,
to be sitting in my seat, vibrating from my chest.
Someone just sitting next to you, like what the fuck, and you just like what?
but like, okay,
like,
so that's
feel it?
what's
No,
one
I-
scenario. The other scenario is you're at home. If you're at home,
Yeah.
why don't you just have like speakers on and just be like blasting
Well,
out your
'cause
house?
that's different.
That's true.
You don't want to wake the neighbors.
Dude, I don't know. People are talking about like hear the music like differently too. I don't know. Like when
I
you
mean,
have the
music
thing
is
and it's
literally
weird,
just
but-
vibration. So I've never tried it, so I can't say. It probably is cool considering that it's a product. So I'm sure somebody thought it was cool to make it, but like, it just seems like the practicality of it. Like I'd probably be like, oh, I got it. I would just never use it.
Yeah.
Like when you just like,
That's-
oh, I just want to sit and be in the music. Like
I do it all the time.
I want to be the
I
musical
guess,
notes
but like
coming out of
you
the
do it if you're
speakers.
like if you're like going to bed or something. You're not gonna like you brush
Yeah.
your teeth. You go to, you take your shirt off. You go to bed and you like, put your vest
Put your
on.
vest on.
You're trying to brush your teeth with the vest on, but you're getting it all
Yeah.
over your face because the vibration
Yeah.
just messing you
Well,
up.
just
brush
seems
your
like
teeth for you. You just keep your
shaving-
hands still and the vibration
shaving.
move it. It's
Yeah.
like
You're
electric
like,
toothbrush.
It's just trying to like find like a use for it. Like I listen to music and like you get into it, but it's like I'm like working or something like that. So I'm like working around the house. I got my vest on, doing the dishes.
Trying to like
just,
wipe your butt while your hands
gonna
vibrate
wear
and
one.
shit all over
I'm gonna
your
buy
ass.
one and
Alright,
wear
so
it.
Brian
It's gonna be
jams out when he's
amazing.
on the toilet, I guess.
Yeah, I don't wanna do
All right,
that.
well, I think now that we're like trashing it, we gotta like buy it and try it.
Yeah, we'll do a product review.
Yeah. That's the first
I
review.
mean,
we'll get.
I do want to try it. I just feel like I just don't have a practical application for it. At least in my like circumstance, maybe in other people. Like it feels like if you're in an apartment and you can't be like ripping subwoofers and stuff. I guess if you want another way to experience, you could have like big headphones like this and that. Like maybe that would be like really crazy, but I don't know.
So in the situation of this, like you're speaking of headphones, what do you better prefer using at home? Your surround sound or headphones plugged into the TV?
Into a TV?
For TV, I always watch using speakers. I never watch
Yeah, I
TV
don't
using.
know.
If I'm on my
Does
computer,
anyone do that?
I'll have headphones at night, and I use my speakers during the day. I use my speakers during the day just from like spatial awareness, so I can hear it, but also hear other things, like I'm supposed to be working or if
what do you
if
feel-
something's
what do
happening.
you
But I'll
feel-
have my headphones in like at night and stuff if I'm into something. But I don't
Yeah.
on a TV. It's always speakers.
That'd be weird. Just like sitting there, like in your living room, and you're just sitting there with like headphones on, staring at a giant TV.
No,
I feel like it'd be
it-
super weird.
No, I used to do that back in the day, like in the
That's
older
weird
TVs.
as
I mean, it helps you keep it silent though. If you're at
Yeah.
night, like
That's weird.
I mean, I can
That's-
see
yeah,
people.
especially when you have really bad like the
I feel
speakers
like
on your
Christians
TV
would be
stink.
into that kind of thing.
I
Yeah,
can
it's
see the
weird.
use case of it. Like if you're still like at home or something with like a bunch of
Yeah.
people and you're trying to like watch something at night,
Yeah.
like if it's like you're trying to get into it and not have like the TV be blasting, just put headphones on. No one else will hear it, and you get to like hear it pretty good.
How did you said back in the day? Like, do they even have? How do
Yeah,
you
they had the
plug it
aux
up?
port.
Yeah, they had like
I said, did they even
auxiliaries,
have that for old
but it was
ass
probably like
TVs?
shit ass headphones too, though. You probably
Yeah,
like
like-
earbuds
Yeah,
or
it was,
like
it was the ones from the CD players. Those
Yeah,
really crappy ones.
With like the foamy like
yeah.
Yeah,
cover on
No,
it.
we're,
that always
we're
falls
thinking
off
like
in,
these,
the
which are like
seconds.
these are all
Yeah.
like really nice headphones, which is kind of funny.
No,
Like,
they're-
speaking of like sound, talking about
That's-
headphones,
I don't know.
I feel like
Uneven.
headphones when they came out a long time ago were like this, just obviously a lot different. And then like they got smaller and smaller and smaller, and then they were like
And they
earbuds,
went to
and then these kind of like
comfortableness and-
Yeah.
came back. And I was always like super against these, not like against them as like a technology, but against them as like I'm not gonna be walking around in public with this giant ass headphones.
Yeah, I see people do.
For me, like my biggest thing is always like efficiency. And like when I leave, it's like, phone, wallet, keys. Like I don't want anything
Yeah.
on me. I just want like limited things to worry about. If I have this, it's like you need a backpack or you need something. But if you have headphones, you can just kind of like wrap it up in your pocket or whatever. So that was always
Yeah.
like my vision of it. But like now that I use them here, they definitely sound like substantially better than just like earbuds. But I still probably wouldn't like walk around with these. And even if I like
Yeah.
go for a run or something, I'll use like earbuds or whatever. So
Yeah, me too.
it's weird
If
to
I
see like
ever
that.
go for a run for the first time, I'll probably wear those.
Yeah,
Like-
but like, like headsets nowadays, they're trying to eliminate the wire part of it, just so it won't interfere in G activities or whatnot.
Yeah.
So, like, but do you think by itself, like the headsets, do you want them wireless or wired? Because I like wired better, just because I don't have to charge them every
Yeah.
couple like hours or so.
I
Yeah.
like wired on most of my
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean that's literally the only reason is like the charging thing. And I would agree that it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
having something that's wireless. I mean, there's nowadays this way you put it on like a dock or something, it auto charges, but you have to remember to do that. Whereas like wired, like these ones right now, like I have them wired because I don't want to have to charge it if I use Bluetooth because they also use Bluetooth on
Yeah.
the thing. So they do
That's what
both, but
got
I
over
just
here.
I just choose to plug it in on my computer because it's like, why am I gonna sit here with using it wirelessly when I can just plug it in and I'm not moving around?
Yeah, there's no point of
One thing too,
doing
like
it wirelessly.
specifically for listening to music and like while you're walking around or like you're on a job like me or something, I can always just tuck the wire in my shirt and like have my phone in my pocket, so you
Yeah.
can't even see the wire. You know, like
Mm.
I mean, for like
just have the little buds coming out of the top and into your ears.
yeah, I mean, for like running, like I hate a wire. Like you know, you can kind of like get used to it, but like having a wire is awful. Like having a good
I'm used to
Bluetooth
it.
set for like running would be awesome, but it would be for like specifically like an activity that requires movement. But if you're just kind of like fairly stationary, just walking around, like a wire is not that big of a deal. I mean, in the future, if there's some sort of like wireless charging, like when it's on your head, like the sun charges it or something, like
This is a giant solar panel on top of your head. Just
you know what I mean?
wire.
Like if there was something like that where it charges it somehow on its own, then yeah, wireless is
They
substantially
should make some sort
better.
of hat, but a hat
Yeah,
that has
I
like
think
pull down
the,
earbuds, and you can put them in your ears.
They have that for like winter hats with like the things you pull it down.
Yeah, like the flappy
Yeah.
like ear. hat
Even
things that
like
headphones
hoodies. They have
inside.
hoodies that have like the strings built in, so you can like pull a thing out
Yeah.
of it and stuff.
Oh, really?
They have a lot of like crazy stuff
even
like
for
that.
backpacks.
What?
Yeah,
Like
no.
you didn't know like that little hole that has that like it's
Yeah.
like cut out
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah,
that I don't
that
even know
rubber.
what that
It's like a
calls.
little rubber.
Yeah, just like a little
piece.
gasket thing.
Yeah.
I never use it.
It was like
I
the
never
old
did,
trick.
but that's
The
what-
old trick back in the day, like when. Well, we used to do it with like the regular earphones, but when earbuds first came out, it was like when you're in school, you would have it, the thing in your pocket, and you would wire it up in
Through
your
your
sleeve, and you
Yeah,
just kind of
like this.
you kind of lean
Yeah.
on that. Like when I was younger, we didn't have like the earbuds yet. We had like just the over the ear ones, but we used to have them that you could separate the plastic. So you would just have like the earpiece and then like a
Giant
piece of
thing.
plastic, and you would just put that whole piece in your ear, and you'd have like a little speaker thing, and you had to like listen to. So wasn't the same, but that's like it started, you know, back then with that same thing, like trying to listen in class. But that was also like, you know, you'd have to bring CDs.
Yeah, the
attention in
whole
school.
CD
Oh, man,
player.
I hate
Like
it
you
when it
didn't have.
skips.
I mean, yeah. Eventually, it got to like MP3 CDs where you could have like 10 albums on one CD. But like, you know, the iPod and all the digital like that. I mean, that would have been so amazing when I was growing up. Like that's. I feel like my childhood was great, but like there's certain technology that would have been just like substantially better. Like phones probably would have ruined a lot of my
I was gonna say
childhood.
better for what though? Like it's not.
No, like
necessarily better or
listen to
worse,
music.
but- I guess like in school though. Like, oh man, it was so much better if I
Well,
could listen
in-
to music
in-
in
and
school.
And then you get your shit taken away.
No,
'cause
but
you
in
don't have music.
high school, where me and Christian went. Oh, Brian, did you go to the Vogue?
I did.
Yeah, you have 1 week of class and 1 week of your trade. So
Sure.
in my trade, I was doing graphic arts. I would every other week I would spend an entire week in a room like on a computer or drawing or something like
Yeah,
that,
me
and we would
too.
get to listen to music. And I used to have
Yeah.
to bring a backpack with like 30 CDs in it to listen to music while I was doing it. So if I had an iPod
it's
for like
a
that
binder.
circumstance, it would have been like
Yeah,
great.
just,
Like not saying
yeah,
like
yeah.
phones, because then it would be like social media and blah blah blah, and that probably would have made high school probably awful. But just like the physical ability to have all the music on a single device would have been really good back then.
They actually had the CD players actually have built-in MP3. You ever seen that?
Well, yeah, that was when you could get an MP3 CD where you had to put like multiple
old
albums on a
Walkman?
single CD.
No, they had like it was like it's all in one. It was a CD player and an MP3. Like you only could put a certain amount of songs in there, like 5 songs or so.
What?
Oh, I don't know. 5 songs
Like,
seems
I had
pointless.
like
but,
I've seen one before, and my mom's like, "It's too expensive." And
yeah, I believe it. It's like I don't know, but I mean for
crazy.
the headphones, I mean, what do you guys think of like why that made a trend? Because obviously like it did trend to like getting smaller, then all of a sudden like these like came back big. I mean these probably were big with like the audiophiles and like the people doing like you know hardcore music stuff, but like I feel like you didn't see them a lot, and then all of a sudden over the past I don't know 10 years or whatever, like they've come back like
Well-
super strong. Do you think it's like the technology just caught up and like they actually started sounding like super good and people like, oh shit, this actually sounds
No.
great, I prefer this? Or is it like I don't know.
I sort of think,
Is-
in my opinion, I think it has something to do with the gaming world. I mean, in the
Yeah,
last
that's what I
10
was
years,
saying.
That's true.
a lot of the gaming has evolved so much to where you need to hear left and right, you know, footsteps, this, that, whatever, directional noises.
It's just like good thing. No, I was gonna say the same thing. I think gaming is.
In my,
That's
I
true.
mean, as far
Drives
as
it.
gaming goes, that's why a lot of gamers wear, you know, similar headphones to us, to what we got.
And the thing about these is that it has a noise canceling
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
sensation. Like you can't hear anything. Like
Which
the
is good for
AirPods.
gaming. Like
Yeah.
Tim said, I don't want to be in public noise canceling. Like I want to I want
Yeah.
to be aware
Yeah.
of my surroundings. I want to hear music, but I want to like if there's a car fucking like barreling down the street, I don't want to just be like jamming out and just get like destroyed.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter. Most people nowadays don't even look; they just cross the street. So
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But like that's the thing. Like noise cans, all these things. It's like they all have their like uses. It's like you see like the website of like, oh, the new noise canceling headphone that shows like somebody walking down the street. And I'm like, that's probably a really bad idea. Like,
Yeah, that's not good.
might as well be listening to music when you die.
that's what I mean. It's like for like I don't know if you're like in an office and you're trying to get work done, you have noise canceling headphones. Like that's really cool. And they have some where you can tap it and it actually cancels the noise canceling, so you can hear people.
Oh,
It actually like
that's
shuts
nice.
off because noise canceling
Cool.
a lot of times is just like it's like other ambient noise that it uses to cancel it out. So it
Yeah.
actually shuts that off so you can hear people. So you just tap it to like talk to somebody, then tap it back, and it shuts like the outside world off. So it's like there's ways to avoid it, but it also has its use cases, like I said, offices or while you're gaming, but not just like walking on the street or going for a jog. Like you should be aware, not just like
Yeah.
I'm in the zone. I'm in the world of this song. It's like yeah, are you
For a
gonna
second,
like
I thought you said
Yeah.
riding your dog.
riding your dog?
What?
Yeah. And then your dog has headphones.
Your dog, you're riding a dog with headphones. Whatever that means.
Well,
But
You got a
going
little
on
saddle
more
on.
into the sound part, like how theaters these days, like back then, you just go to a drive-through with a car and just like watch it on a like projector, and now you can just go into IMAX and experience the high quality of actual entertainment.
No, I've never
maybe
actually seen a
they
drive-in
reopen.
movie.
Me neither.
I've never seen one.
Like I,
You're like,
like, I
oh, remember
know-
back in the day when this is all you did? You've never done it.
He has no idea what he's talking about.
no, they did have some
Oh, God.
around. Like
Oh, they had-
a
yeah, they had
little
them
bit a
everywhere,
couple
but
years
I just-
back.
I just never. My
No,
parents
they
never brought me.
still had them around a couple years back, but like since the whole situation where like they couldn't keep them open at a certain time just because of like not enough people come and they're going to like how IMAX came out.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, screw this, we just go to IMAX.
But I feel like even that like took a change where it's like back in the day that's like that was the thing, and then people were like, oh, this sucks. I want to go to the movie
I don't-
theater, and then like
I don't think it was. Oh, sorry. Good.
I mean, you might be going to the same place, but I feel like, yeah, like back in the day, like our parents were like, oh, it's all what we all did. And then it's like, for us, it's like, no, the movie theater is what it is. And then I feel like it started coming back. People were like, oh, I see, it's kind of cool, like to do the movie, like the drive-ins. And then like they sort of kind of started making a comeback. But obviously, I feel like they were harder to keep open because they're like more privatized things versus just these mass like cinemas that are just everywhere, have like a lot of money to them. But
I mean, let's go into the cinemas more, the movie theaters. I mean, like way before these D-box seats came out, like you could sit in the seat that would vibrate and move, and like you'd get the gust of wind and shit like that.
Yeah,
you
that
just
was
had
mostly-
this projector that had speakers kind of on the front.
Didn't the IMAX theater have something similar where some theaters have movable seats or something like that?
what is it? Yeah, it's called D-box. I mean, some
Yeah.
theaters have like D-box seats where it's like there's just a handful of seats that are those in the theater. Not every single seat. IMAX has like speakers in the seats, so like the seats like vibrate with the sound. But like the D-box ones are like 4D seats where like they move and like they go back and like it's more involved.
Vibrates.
But I mean, yeah, like the old school like drive-in, like when it first started, before there even was like movie theaters, you would have like a speaker that you would take off of the stick and you put it on your
a
car.
stick, and you bring it like in
And
your
you would
car
hear
with
it.
Yeah.
You literally basically have like an open headphone on your car that you'd be hearing this movie from. It was probably just total ass sound quality, but like that's what they would watch, like the old like Halloween and Freddy Krueger movies, like in the drive-through, and like it was probably cool. But
Probably
like,
made it more realistic in a way.
Yeah.
Sounds kind of
I
cool.
mean, maybe
Just,
not
like,
realistic
shitty
from a
sound
sound
and-
perspective because the sound probably was just like I said,
Yeah.
ass,
garbage,
just
like
like
staticky,
really
like,
static, like really highs, like no lows, no bass or anything, just
Yeah.
all like high screechy noises.
Yeah, but that was like the best speakers, man. Like,
But I
to
feel
have
like-
for a scary
No, they
movie.
weren't.
I mean, at
That's
the,
like
at the
literally
time they
just
were
said
probably
it was
You
like
know what I'm saying? Like the screechy sound.
they were probably good for what it was, being outdoors and stuff. But like,
yeah.
I feel like from a quality perspective, like I said, we got all the way to like, you know, D-Box and like IMAX. IMAX is probably like, okay, that's like the pinnacle of like the sound that you can have. It's just like so immersive. It's really loud. It's big. It's clear. But it's like, can we even get better than that? You know what I mean? Or do we start like
Absolutely
going
not.
backwards
Where
and we're like,
seats-
okay, well that's really cool, but like, all right, like maybe people start going to the theater less, or like, oh, the drive-in is more nostalgic. We're gonna start doing the drive-in so we can sit in our
Yeah.
cars. Like, where do you see it going from here? You know what I mean? Knowing where we've been, like, do you see like IMAX 3.0 and it just keeps getting crazier and bigger and better, or is that just unrealistic? Do people even
Yeah.
want that?
I'd imagine
I don't know.
they're gonna try it just to get people to come back
Yeah.
because I feel like they're not going as much, obviously,
Well, especially right now, like
because
it's
of a
hard
certain
to-
situation that we're
Yeah,
in.
it's hard to predict.
Yeah,
anything
right now I'm-
because of
Yeah.
the-
I guess we'll skip over now because obviously that's like we don't know where that's going to go. Like this is obviously affecting all
like
of that
like,
on its
not even open up again
on
like,
its
who
own.
knows?
So let's say like okay, things get back to normal and people are like okay, let's start going back to the movies. Like, what do you see movie theaters like going to, or like do you see them start evolving in an opposite way? Like it's hard to
They're
predict.
trying to make it. They're
Yeah.
trying to make it more at home, just because a lot of the seats got taken out just to be more comfortable seats that feel like you're actually at home,
Yeah.
sitting next to your loved ones or like next to some friends, just hanging out watching a fun
Yeah.
movie.
Next thing you know, they'll give you like a remote, so when you have to go to the bathroom, you
Yeah.
can pause it
Everyone-
for the
everyone has a
entire
remote.
movie theater.
I mean, the seat thing I think was like long time coming. That was genius because I mean,
Yeah.
rarely did they sell out the theater. Maybe like on the opening night of like a Harry Potter or something. You know what I mean? Like they just never sold it out. So it's like why have all these empty seats and crappy seats? So they cut down the theater by like a third and just made comfortable seats. And now people are like, oh shit, this is actually pretty cool. So it
I
brought
can't
people
remember
back.
that.
But like,
the
the
last
foldable
time
seats that like you
yeah,
just put
those I
down.
can't. I was say the ones that you
My
like
ass
hard
is
plastic
one of them.
yeah, just like the
with
hard
the tiny
like,
like. It's not even like foam or anything. It's just like hard
that the sound
plastic,
they
which is
made?
like cloth on it.
yeah, you
and
couldn't
just
put your
pull it
feet
down,
up
sit
unless the
on it.
person in
It was
front of you
awful.
wasn't there. It's like
Right.
even now, like the theaters, like they serve alcohol and stuff. And it's like it's cool. Like Christian said, they're trying to make it more homey because they know people like everybody
It's like
just.
more relaxed.
I feel like even before like the COVID and stuff, people are just becoming more like homebodies, and people are
Yeah.
like comfortable home, so they want to make it more like home-like. So you can get an alcoholic drink, you can have a nice seat. So it's like it's hard to predict. COVID aside, like what would be the next thing? Like, does IMAX try to make a bigger theater, but then they have to charge you $30 for a single ticket, and it's like the screen is even
Probably.
bigger. It's like you're at a stadium to watch a movie. It was like, but
It's
do
like
you
a
want that?
wraparound screen.
But it's
Honestly,
like-
that would be like too much though.
That's what I mean. Like, I feel like IMAX now is like it's cool, but the movie has to be like designed for that. But like, if the screen was bigger or it was like louder or whatever, it's like I don't really need it because then it's like I don't want to be in the movie. I want to watch. I want to watch.
It'd be
the
cool,
movie.
like if they had a wraparound screen and then like wherever the action went, your seat like turned.
But you would
So
have
you
to like film an entire movie.
you have to make
based on
you
how
have to
you're
make a
gonna show
360
it.
movie.
Yeah.
So that would make the ticket prices way more expensive because filming that would be like really expensive to film.
For me, I think it's going to be like the complete opposite. It would be a little bit smaller, just to be more condensed.
Like phone booths, just one to ones.
yeah,
You just go in. You go into the
guys go-
movie theater in this giant thing, and then each seat has its own individual like tiny
just
thing. You just
standing
sit
up
in. It's
watching
just a
a movie
screen
the
right
whole
in your face. I think I like the way they are now. Like it's hard to predict because they could do something that's awesome. But like normal, like a good movie theater now is like I like it. Like
Yeah.
you get the nice recliner seats and everything. You got like
Big
space,
screen.
like the walls in front of you, and the screen's like good enough where it's like you don't need to like look around. Like you
Yeah.
can look straight. You can see the whole thing in your like vision. But like you were saying, like the sound thing. It's like we can only hear so much through
yeah.
what we can hear, and we can only see so much with our eyes and our vision. So it's like I think what it is now is fine. Like I don't think it needs to be any crazier.
So
I think
So
they're gonna
oh.
try to do something to get people back, even if it's shitty.
oh
like,
yeah,
They
they
might.
need to. They need
But
to try like
it's
weird,
like it's
quirky
expensive
things,
to
but-
like they renovated. They spent a ton of money, and I feel like it worked. Up until now.
Yeah.
But like I feel like drive-ins are gonna make a bigger of a comeback because I mean, for one,
the whole 6
you know,
feet.
if we are talking COVID, like that's a huge thing because you can have your own space and whatever, be as comfortable as you want. I'm sure they can improve on the sound, whether it's they have sounds on the screen or like some sort of system that you put in your car, or like a Bluetooth thing that you tune into so your whole car can play it or something. I see that like coming back more. Like I feel like it started to, but I feel like that's gonna be
that would be
bigger.
kind of cool. The Bluetooth.
And I feel like I would do it. But like Tim said, like I enjoy like just a good theater for the right movie.
Yeah.
Like movie theaters were great. I loved them.
Fun. Those are fun.
We went
And
all
like
the time.
driving would be cool
Yeah.
for like family or like certain outings. But like if I had like, oh man, the new Marvel movie came out, I'm not gonna
Yeah,
want to
I
go
wanna
to a
go see
drive-in. I want to go to like a theater where I can like
Sit down, eat
Watch it,
popcorn,
yeah.
Like, get
butter
into
that
it.
shit up.
at a drive-in. I feel like there's still gonna be distractions. People gonna be like out and like, drinking on their car and stuff and like doing whatever. But like I feel like they each have their own purpose. But I just don't know like what the next like evolution of it is. Is it that they just go away like we talked about in a previous podcast and people just start watching shit from home, or is it do they just kind of stay the same? Or like Brian said, do they try and like, oh, here's $1 billion against the movie industry. Let's try to save it by doing this. I don't know what that would be, but
They can make like a big screen that like tilts and angles itself. As the
But then it's
action
like the
goes on,
same-
I don't know.
just do you want that? You know what I mean? Like thinking
That
I
about
don't
just
know.
seems like pointless.
You know what I
don't
mean?
know,
Like
I'm
that's the
just
thing.
trying to
Like
come up with something.
for anything that they're gonna do, it would have to be like a consumer driven, like numbers that they gave. So it's like they would have to ask people like, what is it that you want? Do you want every seat to be like going crazy, or do you want to just like some people just want to chill and watch the movie?
Yeah, I like that honestly. I
Like-
like the seats they have, just like the nice leather reclining seats. Like I like those better than like a D box. Like some movies, I
Yeah.
guess, like you said, if it's designed around that.
Yeah.
But like a normal like action movie, like when we go see all the Marvel movies, I'm good in the seats. Like
I just
don't
I
need
just want to
crazy
watch. I don't want to be
vibrations.
like, oh fuck, Thanos punched
Yeah, I
me.
don't need
God
all
damn
these
it.
distractions and stuff. Yeah, I need like I'm fine with that.
Like I watched the Expendables 2 or 3 in a D box seat, and it was like really cool because that's like you don't
There's
really.
a lot of
Yeah,
explosions.
it's just like the movie's like an action driven, just like constantly just giving you eye candy like while you're watching it. So like the whole thing, like you're like in the car and it's like jerking around, and like when the movie first starts, like somebody gets punched and the whole seat like goes like this, like you get punched.
Yeah.
So like that actually like worked well for it. But yeah, for like if I'm gonna go to the movies, it's gonna be probably very specific these days as it is like for choice of movie. So I probably just want to chill with like a snack and watch it without like being bothered by like my ass getting punched.
Pounded. I don't
So-
know. Like people go to like movies just like,
Ass getting
like
pounded.
comedies and like romance movies. Just weird
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
Like why would you like the whole? I feel like the whole point of the movie theater is just like for like action movie. That's like
You get like a D box seat to like a romantic movie, and people
Yeah,
like
like,
making
it's
out.
like, why-
Somebody's
oh,
in front of you
people's getting
spraying you
hit
with water and shit, just like getting you all wet.
You're like at a romantic movie and they're like having sex in your seat's just like you're like, oh my god. You're like just getting annoyed. Like, come on. This is so unrealistic.
So another
It's like getting
I
faster.
think
You're
that
like,
you guys
oh
did-
shit.
Your seat,
I
your
think
seat
you
like
got-
gets a boner, and you got something going up there.
Whoa.
So
hey.
a thing you guys didn't mention was 3D movies. Remember those? You
Ah.
just put on the glasses.
I never liked those. Yeah,
I feel like that's-
uh,
I understood it because obviously 3D's been around for like our whole life and it's just, you know, it got better and better. But like me
I
personally,
never-
my like brain just couldn't like when my
yeah,
when
some people
handle
doesn't
it.
work.
you know, like 3D basically is, you know, you have two images overlaid and as your eyes put them together, it creates the depth of it. Just that like act of putting them together, like my brain just hurt. Like I had a headache every 3D movie I watched. And while it was cool, they weren't really.
They weren't
I mean, it was a-
designed.
That's there was
They
a
weren't
couple.
even
Like
di-
I saw
Yeah,
some of
Avatar, I
them,
think, like the regular Avatar movie, 3D, and it was like it was cool and there was some stuff to it, but I don't know. It's not the same. I feel like I would have enjoyed it more if it wasn't 3D. Like I feel like that doesn't add more to the movie. Like for myself, seeing like a floating thing here, like I know it's not there, but then it makes everything else all like weird and like I don't know. 3D was kind of like a miss for me specifically. Like I get it.
Yeah, me
like
too.
it's like, oh, that's the next cool thing, but like if you have to put glasses on and it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not the
The
same.
thing is,
What about like in interactive movies, like something where you have a little, I don't want to call it a remote, but a little something at your chair, and it's like press 1 or 2, and this outcome will happen. Like you got to do it real quick though.
Like on the
It's like
screen,
Game
all the
Flash.
actors are like waiting for you to press it. It's like in real time. It's like a real
I
show.
did on
I guess
Netflix.
something like that, but
They did that on Netflix, the Black Mirror Bandersnatch thing.
Yeah,
It's-
people.
you
yeah.
use your remote and you pick different things.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
yeah, interactive type things are cool, I guess. But you would have to like again, things would have to be designed for that because you would have to have
And
8 different
as-
outcomes to choose.
It would
like,
only work with one person. You couldn't go to a movie theater.
you're all
and do
like
that.
voting, like put your hand up if you want this person to die.
I mean, I guess you could. It could show like the tally of the vote, but then it's just
That's what I
weird.
mean.
Then
Then
it's
it's yeah,
just-
it's
I
like
don't know.
all right, I'm not there to like have
then
a
it's just
debate
not like a
club.
movie. Yeah, it's not really like a.
so the 3D, like to me, like all you like you disagreed on it, but the thing is, those 3D glasses weren't meant for those particular movies. Like certain
Yeah.
movies have own like certain effects designed to pop out where a hand goes out and just pretends to
Yeah,
reach
yeah.
you, but it's actually reach someone else. Like they don't have any of the movies designed for that. It's
Yeah.
always like
it's always just
watching
like
an Avengers
stupid
movie.
like background
Yeah.
things like the butterflies or like it's never
Yeah.
like in the movie. It's just like they make the movie and they're like, oh, what can we add that has like 3D elements to it?
Yeah.
I
don't, like,
remember one
design
time
it.
I went
There's
to
a
the
couple
movies,
that film
and that was
did
when I
that.
was really young, and it was like a kids movie, and
Hmm.
they gave you like
Uh,
this card, and like on the movie it said, okay, scratch your card. Like you scratched the card, and it had like a certain scent or something that just went along with the stupid kids movie.
Oh yeah, that's like a simulating 4D. That's like what they do with D-Box when it like has the fan that blows air on you and
Yeah.
stuff. It's just like that fourth dimension. I feel like personally, people don't really want the fourth dimension in movies. Kind of like we're talking about, like the D-Box
Talking
only
to each
works
other.
in some stuff. Like you don't want to be watching a movie and then like driving around in the mud and all of a sudden like you get mud thrown on you.
It's like someone just like in the back. Just
You're like,
throwing
oh, what the
mud
fuck? Like
in a
this,
bucket.
just like this system is just shooting mud all over
You're
you.
walking
That'd
out
be
of the movie
hilarious.
theater just covered in
It
mud.
just like
Yeah.
smells bad.
Or like you're
Yeah,
in
with
that
sprinkler just shooting.
romantic comedy and you're like, oh, facial, like that would suck. You know what I mean? Like,
There's an actual dude in front of you. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
but yeah, that's like a weird example. But you know what I mean? Like I feel like
Yeah.
the whole 4D thing, like I don't know. Like in Disney World and like Universal, these places, they have a lot of like 4D type things where you can like smell stuff or like
It's like
you-
designed around.
you
stuff.
feel stuff. Like this rides where you have like a harness on and the harness will like kind of pokes you in the shoulder, like simulating
Yeah.
something running across you. And it's like those are cool, but like that's like an amusement
But they're also
thing.
they're like rides.
Yeah,
Not
it's like
rides,
you
but
you
they're, like,
expect that as like an
attractions.
additional thing. Like I don't
Yeah.
know. If I'm gonna go watch this movie, and then in the whole movie it's like fucking wind and sand and shit. It's like I don't want that stuff. Like all they can
Yeah.
really do is like smells and like wind. You know what I mean? Like without like giving the person
just
like
like
getting
a-
the person
like
like
a-
dirty.
So imagine that.
Like a big fart smell in the whole movie theater.
So speaking of that, imagine like a theater is just all like the scent of your smell. Like a huge scene
What?
happens and
The
you
scent
smell
of
like
your
a
smell?
garbage.
What does that mean?
Like when you see like a certain scene, like someone's in like a garbage disposal place, it just smells like trash.
Yeah.
It literally
Oh, yeah,
smells
that-
like trash. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean,
Somebody
yeah.
just-
Again,
someone's in the
there's,
bathroom taking a
throwing
there's
trash bags in the
applications
room.
of it. So I mean, Tim can attest to this one. So in Disney, you do, what's that? Not the Avatar one, the other one. Remember Soren? Remember that one?
Yep. Oh
And
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
you're
yeah,
you're basically in like this like fake ride, but you're going throughout the whole like world. And as you're going over like areas, you can like smell grass and you could smell like the
Yeah.
ocean. And like that's like really cool. Like
That's
but it was
pretty
like
good.
in that specific thing, it worked. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it wasn't
Like,
a movie. I was going for that.
Yeah.
I knew what I was going for.
so like
It
that
wasn't
that
a
was like
movie.
really cool 4D because you're
Yeah, it was awesome.
the screen was so big and the screen was actually round. So that when they lift you up, they actually put you inside like the rounded screen. So when you look
Yeah,
left to
you
right,
can't
you're
see
actually like
anything.
in the screen. Even though it's not like a 360, they put you inside of the curve.
It like lifts you up, kind of like in and up.
Yeah.
and-
So like the
and so
screen is
when it-
enough around you that you can
Yeah.
kind of look around. But I feel like that works in that scenario. But like for a movie, like
Yeah.
Brian said, like if it's all around you, I feel like you'd always be like looking around because you're like, oh, I don't want to miss
Mhm.
something. But you wouldn't really be watching it. You'd just be constantly like looking around. You know what I mean? Whereas a movie, you just focus on the screen. So it adds elements to it, but it takes away
Just-
like movie
Yeah,
watching.
like what I said, just too many distractions when you try
Yeah.
to focus on like a storyline and like details and like little things.
Yeah,
Mm.
I can see more like just entertainment things doing 4D related things, especially now that you have like those like VR arcades where you can like put the thing on and you go in a room and you all have like cables tied to you. You know what I mean? Have you seen those?
Nope.
It's like a
Wow.
VR arcade where like you go in and you're just in a big like open cube room. There's nothing in the room and everyone has headsets with like cables connected to the roof and you're like doing a VR mission together with your
Oh, all
friends,
together?
like in an empty
Ah.
room. Oh, you never
That's
seen
cool.
that? They have a lot of
Nah,
those.
dude.
Never seen it.
Yeah.
We should
awesome.
actually probably try to do
I
that.
want to get into like a Tron scenario. You just ride those bikes. You know?
I'll send you a link, but like there's some of them that I have like some of the other people I know that have done them. They have like zombie hunter ones where you're just like in a room like with all VR headsets on and you're in this world together with your friends, but you're just in reality you're just in, like this big empty warehouse room.
That's kind of cool.
But like I can see more experiences that do
It's a
that
waste of
plus
space.
like additional elements of like wind and whatever because then that makes like
Yeah.
that experience like really cool. Like if you smell like
Yeah.
fire or ash and then like there's like wind
Rotting
blowing on
zombie
you.
flesh.
I was just saying the zombie.
Yeah, rotting zombie flesh.
rotten bodies.
So I can definitely see
Somewhat.
that. But like from a movie, my prediction is that like movies theaters don't get any better. They just other things start popping up that do more advanced things, but like movies just
Yeah.
kind of stay the same. I think personally, just because like I don't want anything more than that. Like Tim said, it just takes
Yeah.
away from it for me.
Yeah, changing the seats was like something that we never knew that was gonna happen.
Something
Like,
we
they just
never knew
popped
we
out of
needed.
It's so simple. It
Yeah.
was so simple
Yeah,
too.
it's so simple. They just come out with the new seats, and
What
I
if
was
they
like,
do
"Oh, this is
something
cool."
totally crazy? Like
Yeah,
you get in your seat, right? And it's like a roller coaster. It lifts you up, and then it looks you down. And the floor is the screen. So you're
What the fuck?
So you're
What
looking
would that
down
do,
at
though?
the floor.
You're just like
As-
strapped.
Brian
You're
wants
just
a
like
mad-
fully
Brian wants a
strapped into the
madhouse,
seat
like-
the whole time with a harness.
That
But see, I feel like
very
that, I
might
don't
as well
want
be in
that.
the, Just
definitely
might as
don't
well
want
just
that.
be in a room full of like squares, like a whole. It's like a square room
Squares that
full of
go.
all screens.
Oh, like every floor, all six
Yeah.
sides of the
You're
our
just
screen.
in the middle. You're standing on a screen.
corner.
And the
Shit.
screen's all
I
over
mean,
you.
That would be kind of cool if like the floor was like
Yeah.
sand and the wall was like ocean. Like you like feel like you're at the freaking beach. Like if they could do that, where like it's like virtual reality, but like for your real eyes. You know what I mean? Not on a headset.
Yeah.
I feel like that's probably not possible because like if it's screens,
Yeah.
it would look fake as shit. Like they would have it would have to be like in a sphere of some sort. I don't know. That seems way too advanced for like them to offer random people to go to.
Yeah, it'd be super expensive.
I
and like
see
that,
something
only
for, like, a-
one person.
But again, I wouldn't want to watch a whole movie. Like there's like a scene on the beach and you're just like standing on the beach watching these people like, oh, okay, like you're just like a spectator in the scene. You're not like actually
Like,
watching the movie. You're just like in the scene like, oh shit, this is weird. Like, hey guys.
You like see the movie happening, and then you look over here and you see like the sound crew and the, like people
The camera
filming.
crew with
You're
like
what
the boom mic.
The boom mic.
Yeah, I mean that would be funny, but it would be
You're just in the movie.
I don't want that.
I don't know. I feel like that kind of would be interesting.
But like as
It's
an
evolution right
option,
there.
maybe as like a specific place that did that, but like movie theaters themselves would have to stay
Yeah.
movie theaters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they can't just all of a sudden start offering that.
Maybe like
Or probably-
one, like the IMAX or something. One big one, you know. It's like they have one theater room specific for that stupid shit.
Even you refer to
Stupid
it as
shit.
stupid shit.
Like, hey, see a movie. Stupid shit.
Yeah. Oh, look, we got movies, cool sound. Oh, they got the stupid shit, the screens and whatever. If you
You
want
got
that,
fucking
It's like
Sandy
It costs
Beach
like
Man,
$1 billion to make.
Yeah.
Sandy Boom Crew Beach
it's
Man over here.
$10,000 a ticket, and it's only 30 minutes actually for the movie or for the scene that we've created. Because they can't shoot a whole movie; it would have to be like some scene, and like, oh, it's a scene
Yeah.
where you watch squirrels chase each other in the jungle.
What are squirrels doing in the jungle?
I don't know. Well, it's a movie; you can do whatever you want. I don't know where jungle came from, but
You get to choose your animal. You get to choose your habitat.
yeah.
Sharks
Yeah.
in the rainforest.
I mean, that's
But
a
then you're like in it and it just fills up with water and you just drown.
that's a solid idea. If like you know that Planet Earth documentary that is that
Yeah.
one Planet the BBC one.
That was one of
Like
them.
if they were like to
There's a
open
bunch.
their own
with
like
Morgan Freeman.
place and like that's what the place was. It was like each part of their movie, but like actual interactive environment things. That would be like
You like walk through it.
yeah, like that would be
Like
nasty.
actual
Like I would definitely
tigers in
pay to
front
go
of
to
you.
that place.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
You know what I mean? But like it's not a movie. Like I wouldn't want that at a movie theater. I
Yeah.
would go to that place as the experience to be like, I'm gonna walk through this like thing and you see
That'd be
like
kinda cool.
the guys like talking about it and the animals are running across you. Like that'd be awesome.
Cool. Yeah, you're like in Africa and you walk in the room. It's like 120 degrees in the room. You're like, holy shit!
There's like a lion right in front of you. You're like, oh shit.
There's
Yeah.
fucking tigers like sitting on your seat the whole time. You can't even
would be
fucking
kinda
see the
cool,
guy
though.
explaining shit to you.
I feel like that's something like
It's like
Disney, like or
non-automatic.
Universal would do.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
they would probably like do that.
I'm sure they have like the idea they're already working on. Like that would be like a cool like, but it's like again, it's like you just said like at Disney.
Yeah,
That'd be a
it's
cool
not a
thing to go
movie,
to at
it's
a
an
place.
attraction.
And it's just like on a Saturday, like I feel like walking through the Sahara tonight. What do you guys think?
You want to go see that movie again that we've seen like 6 times because it's the only one that does this? Yeah, let's go.
They only make it like once every 10 years.
So on the throw
Oh,
Santa
man.
at you. Oh,
Yeah, God, I love this part. And it's just like, oh, gazelle just ran by.
Yeah. Oh, wait,
Okay,
Tigers
bye.
come in at 3, 2, 1, and he mauls him. Nice.
There's like a
Yeah, wait,
there's like a
West Ladder.
sandstorm in
Yeah.
the desert, and there's a dude in front of you throwing sand in your eyes and shit.
He's just like, oh God, this is terrible.
Yeah, it's just like one of the workers. He's like in a staff uniform. He's just throwing sand up from the floor. Like, God damn it, Damon.
You got one scene, like an action scene where a guy throw a flashbang and you're blind. You're like, what the fuck, man?
The whole
Someone
room.
actually throws a flashbang into the room.
He
He's
just
like,
fucking
oh,
pokes you in the eyes.
Hey, you
or
just see the
something.
door open up, a hand comes in. Bloop.
Just like an actual flashbang comes in.
They're shooting you with like
God.
rubber bullets and stuff. They're like, they put like a squib pad on you when you first walk in. Like the
That'd
bullets
be
are popping
terrible.
off.
Oh man, no, that's some fucking interaction right there.
That'd be
Already
cool.
got some ideas.
It's not even a
Making our own
movie
home
anymore,
theater.
though.
Imagine that you like walk into the
essentially,
movie
you're
theater and
going
it's just
there
like
to just get fucking
each person
beat up.
gets a strapped on like chest squib pad. You're like, what the hell? You don't even know what it's for. Like midway through the movie during a shooting scene, your thing just starts shooting off. You're like, oh, like you're getting shot.
You have to like dodge them.
Yeah, that'd be funny. Yeah, but then you'd just be covered in fake blood and probably pissed off.
Yeah.
I'd be pretty
Unless
pissed
they
if I walked
actually
in. They're like,
shoot
"Oh,
you.
here's this cool thing." Like, okay, then you're wearing it, and like midway in the movie, it like gunshots go off on your chest, and you're just covered in blood. You're like, "What the fuck?"
Some dude's like standing above you, just slicing himself, dripping his real blood on you.
Oh my
the hell?
god,
What the hell?
That's interaction right
Brian.
there.
that's not interaction
Brian's
anybody
good.
wants.
Yeah, that's
That's weird.
I don't know what theaters you
was
go
like,
to, Brian, but you should stop.
I know.
Brian's like, "Have this ever happened to you guys?"
He's just in a back alley that someone's like projecting out of their window, and it's like
I love when they're
under
projecting.
bricks, and he just
That's my favorite.
just-
That's my favorite verb.
projectoring.
Projectiles.
Yeah.
The act of projecting
pro-
something on a thing.
Oh
Projector.
man,
That's my
Yeah,
profession.
the projector is the person who's doing the projectoring.
That's the people that work at the movie theater. Like, oh, what are you? Like,
Yeah.
oh, I sell popcorn.
I'm a
I'm the
projector.
projector. Oh, nice.
Exactly.
I'm surprised people still use projectors.
They're nice.
At the movies, they have like fucking
high def.
$50,000 projectors.
Yeah.
No, I mean like at home,
4K
like
projectors.
I mean, at home,
Like-
back in the day, yes, because they were just garbage. But nowadays, I mean, you can get.
They got nice ones.
The only thing is like the lighting is a lot more like strict. Whereas like a TV, if you have a glare, it's
Yeah.
one thing. But like a TV always has its resolution. But like a projector,
Like
you can have a
backlit.
4K projector, but it's like someone turns a light on and you're like, oh fuck, I can't see it. So it's
Yeah.
like their quality is really good, but the lighting is a lot more specific.
Yeah,
Whereas the
yeah,
TV
you
is
like
like
a
you have
dark
more
room.
variances.
Like a movie theater, you need it to be all dark and
So I guess with that said, so we just talked about movie theaters. What do you think like the future of like home theaters are? Like, is it just
Well-
TVs getting bigger, projectors getting bigger sound systems, or is like,
just like
is there any
just like
sort
walls.
of immersiveness that happens at home? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like
You ever seen those paintings that look like paintings, but then they're actually TVs?
well, it's a
Scott, you know what I'm
no,
talking
it's
about.
What?
not. It's a TV that looks like a painting. It's not a painting that looks like a TV.
he said a painting that looks like a painting.
No, it's a TV. Yeah, and my friend has one of those. It's
Really?
yes, it's Samsung has one of the first ones. It's a picture frame TV. It looks like
Yeah.
you just hung a picture frame on the wall, but it's an actual
Yeah.
TV. I mean, those are cool, but that's still just a TV.
What's
You
the
know what
point
I
of
mean?
that? Yeah, I mean,
Well,
It's-
that's like evolving. Like
I mean, it's cool
But
because
why?
yeah, it's the technology it uses to display the picture is like it's not the same power to like use the TV, so you can like literally leave it on all the time. It looks like you have a picture of whatever on the wall. It's kind
I
of
mean,
cool.
just like
you
a
could have, like-
screensaver.
in the future maybe just like a section of your wall, like the TV is flush with the wall. Like you
Oh,
have
like
it
in the
built
wall?
into the wall. You know what I mean?
I mean, you could do that now if you just like designed it that way. You know what I mean? Like if you like
Yeah.
built your walls around it.
Which
I feel like in the
Imagine
future, like
getting-
TVs will probably be smaller, so you can probably like a TV might be like a legit like a size of a rollout piece of cardboard on the wall, so it would already be pretty thin.
or just get
I'm
wallpaper
talking like a
that's
TV,
like
like that's flush with the
Put
wall,
wallpaper-
but that's like the whole size of your wall. You know, like 100-inch. I don't know.
But you could do that today with like if you get like a 100-inch projector. You know what I mean? I mean, like the future of like home, like we're never gonna go like 3D. I think is like kind of is sort of dying out, but like 4D, like no one's ever gonna like install like a friggin' fart cannon in their living room to like spray them with like bad smells when they're watching a movie. You know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can't. No one's gonna put that in their home. Like oh, when they're watching a movie, they like have the pay some neighbor kid to like turn the fan on every time there's like a windy scene. Like I mean, I guess that's probably like not how it would happen. You probably have like some like
Or
like
to go
Alexa
back to my-
powered fan that like auto does it. But like you know what I mean? Like no one's gonna like go through the effort to have like 4D things installed at home. So I feel like TVs are just gonna get bigger and clearer and cheaper and
There's
thinner.
different designs of
To,
it.
to go back to my TV in the wall idea, what if it was like,
Right.
He just really wants us.
what if it was
Yeah.
like a double-sided TV? Like you can go in the other room and watch that same TV. It's in your wall, so you don't have to buy like one for the kitchen, one for the living room.
Well, you need
Well,
to
if
have
you,
a wall.
yeah, if
in
you have a
between
wall that like
your
is
living and your
completely
kitchen
open
room.
on the other side. Most people
Yeah.
have like refrigerators in their kitchen and stuff. Like if you just have like a massive 100-inch wall that has nothing on either side of it, I guess.
I'm not saying 100-inch, but like just a little. You know, how, like
Like a
for instance,
6-inch,
people
like
have
a
the
one
window-
like this. You said.
For instance, people have the
Well, I
windows
was like,
from
no,
their
that's
kitchen
something
to the
like
living
this.
room.
Like, I just want to.
like this.
like a little 50-inch. I don't know, 60.
A little 50-inch.
I get what you're saying, but I feel like that sort of already
Super
possible
specific.
today. But like, yeah, you're saying like something that already is like double-sided and really thin. I mean, probably coming, but I don't see them ever creating like a double-sided.
I still don't see like
TV,
a
it's very
purpose to
specific.
that. Yeah.
I know that mirrors, they're starting to do stuff with those.
Mirrors.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have like
Like they
LED mirrors. That's because a mirror is just like it's just a coating on it. It's kind of just like a piece of glass, like, and they
What?
just have like it's like a mirror where it looks like when you're looking at it, it's just like a mirror. But then if you turn it on, you can like see
Oh,
things
it has
through
like
it.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of cool.
Like it's getting like.
I mean, I can see those.
Like it has a clock and stuff and like different things.
I mean,
on the
I don't see
mirror,
those becoming like TVs because like that's kind of
No,
weird.
no.
But like, yeah, I think mirror technology probably will improve where everyone's gonna
I don't
have
know, this
like,
is like a weird
smart
jump. I'm
mirror
like,
just
what's
because
become mirrors
that's
now?
cool and that's
Weird.
useful. I think. Like if you had a mirror in your bathroom
Well,
that just
screw
had like
you and your stupid ideas.
it just had like weather and stuff on it,
Your
like that'd be
toilet.
cool.
Apparently, when you look down, you're like taking a shit. You can actually.
Now we're
see
just talking
what's-
like random home appliances. We were
I
talking
know,
about
I'm
like
so confused.
entertainment
Jump
centers
from-
staying with
You're
our
flushing.
topic.
Yeah, change the channel.
What? I'm so confused.
I mean, now
Oh,
with like
boy.
the voice and stuff, do you feel like
No,
well specifically about that? Do you feel like voice will take over more? Because you can do like like change the channel, start the TV and stuff with your voice now. Do you see that? Is that like weird, like a fad thing? Do people want that? Do you see that like that's just the future of everyone's just gonna have everything voice controlled? Or
I don't think it'll be everything. I think it's easier to use a remote.
I do too.
Like
You don't always
It's
want it
the
to
voice
say
thing, isn't
something.
it?
Yeah.
the voicing isn't like great all the time.
It just picks up random words you say, and like the TV turns on and starts playing some
Yeah.
random ass show.
Yeah.
I just
You
use a
never
remote.
said.
It's way easier.
I feel like it's a daytime, nighttime thing. Like during the day, I'm much more willing to like use them, but at night, like I don't want to be like saying stuff out loud. I just want to like hold the remote in my hand, all lazy,
You're
just
like
like
you're laying in bed.
bed.
Alexa, turn on fucking this show.
TV.
turn on
And
fucking.
everybody,
So that's what will happen, and then you're like, oh god,
Oh
Alexa.
shit!
everybody
off,
in the
turn
house
off.
wakes up.
Yep.
Oh man,
happens.
She's
well,
like turning
Imagine
turning
just waking
on
up in the morning.
last played show at max volume. Like no.
No one wants to hear like someone wake up in the morning and someone yelling. Like, what are you yelling at? I'm yelling at.
I'm turning on the lights.
Turn on the
Like, just
lights.
use the light switch.
I
It's
know.
right there.
Flush the toilet.
Alexa, open the door. I can't escape the room. Alexa doesn't
Wipe
know what the
my
fuck I'm
ass.
saying.
Will you finish wiping my ass and stop telling me the news? I don't know.
Well,
How do we get here?
it's 52
Yeah, I don't
minutes
even know
here.
what our topic. I mean, somehow we sort of
We're
stayed on
flying
topic the
all
whole
over the
time.
No,
place.
it's mostly
so-
just sound. Like the sound. Most things just evolving.
Oh well, we made our predictions, so
Yeah.
we'll
we
cut it.
talked
We'll
about
cut it
things.
there, and
Yep.
let us know what you think in the comments. What your predictions are for home entertainment, movie theaters, sound quality. Like, where do you see it going? What do you personally want to see?
And how you set up at home.
Sure.
What do you prefer?
Yeah.
Do you have a home?
Do you have a home? If we hit 100 subscribers, we're doing a giveaway. It might be
Yeah.
a home. It's actually a
Yeah.
game.
It's not that. It's not a home.
It's just a
Cardboard
game.
box.
As usual, the
Yeah.
road to 100.
Yeah.
We get to 100. We're doing a giveaway of a nice game, brand new game, or
Nice
whatever game
game.
you want.
The nicest
But
game.
not one of those shitty games. A nice game.
Nice
Nice
game.
game.
It's gonna
And
be
always
tip top game.
follow us on all the socials, the usual,
Yeah.
Twitter, Instagram.
Yeah.
Catch us live on
YouTube,
Twitch lately.
Facebook,
Mhm.
Spotify, all the other stuff.
All the good ones. Check us
Scott,
out.
Make sure they buy us a drink.
Yeah, buy us a drink if you want to get more involved with us and help sway some of the content and where we go with some of these videos and podcasts.
Who knows?
Check out the
If you
links in
buy
the
us a drink-
description.
Who knows if you buy us a drink, we'll eventually be in office by tomorrow.
By tomorrow.
By tomorrow.
By tomorrow. Don't listen to his time frames,
As
but
if-
I like his motive.
Yeah,
I like where he's
doesn't know
going
what
with this.
talking about.
But on that note,
Alrighty.
Okay.
on that note, we will
Skip it
see you
ahead.
in the next one.
Both the boys out of here.
Peace.
See you later.